Hello, beautiful, benevolent beings. It is your innermost reflection, Denaja Davis. Welcome if you are here today for the first time. Hello if you've been here from the beginning. I appreciate you no matter if you are brand new or a returning member of the tribe. So today is a very, very, very special day for myself. It is my solar return, and it is not just any solar return, it is my 25th solar return. Today is my Earthstrong. It is my birthday. Let the heavens rain. Yo, I honestly cannot even begin to describe how profound it feels to be a quarter. I mean, everything that has been happening most recently leading up to this day has been like a glimpse into the 7th year. I say 7th because in numerology, 25 breaks down to the number 7. So this is my 7th year. My 24th year was so crazy. It was gentle at first because it was all about that balance with that 6, the 2 plus 4. But towards the end, it just was like I was on a roller coaster, and it was like when it hits that sharp turn, it feels like it's about to go off the track and jerk. It was just so freaking bizarre. But we are here today to tell the story. And really what I want to get into today is just a little bit of numerology in regards to the seeds that will be planted and watered in the 7th year for myself. And most importantly, I want to use this as a way for me to recap on my beautiful 24th year. So I will be jogging down memory lane and sharing with you guys 7 of the biggest blessings that I have received in my 24th year. So for those of you guys who don't know, like I said, this is my 7th year. Yes, I'm a quarter. Yes, I'm 25, 20 fine, honey. That brain is done, baby. Okay. I just have to be a little, it is Aries season. So some of you guys who may be wondering, what is 7 in numerology? What does that mean? So 7 in numerology rules spirituality, baby. It rules higher knowledge, higher thinking, ascension. It can rule occult, divination. I said spirituality. And yeah, so for me, already intuitively kind of leaning into this year, I am claiming that this is going to be a year of crown chakra activation. It already feels like my crown chakra and my third eye were doing quite the dance towards the end of my 24th year, preparing me for this 7th year journey. But I'm claiming it. I'm claiming total activation through my crown. I'm claiming 110% tapping into the powers of my third eye, honey. I'm claiming peace, of course. I'm claiming prosperity. I'm claiming unions in the areas of my career, unions in the area of my finance. I'm claiming a strong tribe here on this channel. Y'all know if y'all been watching my videos, I do not bombard y'all with like, comment, bell, but I'm claiming that the work in 2022, that the work in my 7th year will speak for itself, that it will continue to echo beyond space and beyond time, and that the beings who need it the most, who need the medicine, who need a friend, who need a sister, can find the work, can find my being. And so yes. So I was just sitting here and I was like, let me get my journaling on. And I'm going to kind of start off right now, like I said, with my blessings. By the way, you guys let me know if y'all are interested in numerology. I love numerology. But if you guys ever want me to make some content based on like just the individual like numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because they all have energy and they all hold a specific vibration, let me know. Let me know if you find, hearing about if you too are, a 97th baby like me and turning 25. If you find it interesting to kind of hear what you can expect from your 7th year from watching this video, let me know. If you are in your 6th year, if you're in your 5th year, if you're in, your 1 year, let me know if that is interesting to you. And maybe I'll start a series where I'll break that down, what you can expect for that year ahead, And also just to let you know, that was literally the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that will be revealed, and you gotta make sure to keep checking on in so I can update you on my 7th year journey. Without further ado, I would just like to invite you guys into the 7 blessings that I received during my 24th year. So the first blessing that I have written down here is transformation. Life is never constant. Get used to it. So originally what I was feeling when I wrote that down was everything that I've really and honestly, truthfully encountered in the last 2 years, and certainly everything that has come in the last couple of months for myself. I'm just pausing because just even like thinking ever so slightly about everything is like, whoa. But like many of you guys, all of us here, we experienced and, maneuvered through COVID-19 and felt very uncertain, I know, as a collective and as a people, and have had to very much so pick up the pieces and restart again in various areas of our life. And I promise you, I am not left out of that group of people, or out of that equation rather, at all. And really, when I'm gonna say this, when I woke up just about 2 years ago, when I say woke up, I mean when I heard the calling that was ever so clear from the day that I came into this world 25 years ago, that I was chosen and I decided to choose, because yes, I do believe that we all have been chosen, yet some of us specifically choose. My life has never been the same. It's never been the same. I've learned how to kind of just flow in and out of change, yet there was something so profound and something so unique about 24, especially in the last kind of 6 months onward up until this point, where I'm trying to figure out how much, honestly, I want to get into it in this video, because I do have some other video ideas that revolve around some of the transformations that I've witnessed, experienced over the past couple of months. But basically, I have been able to surrender even more and, detach from my ego even more. And it's literally left me speechless. It's blown me away. It's left me even more grateful for my ancestral team, my spiritual team, spirit himself, all the above. But yeah, I think I'll just leave it there for now. That just know that really embracing transformation, and really, I think too, wearing, really wearing this understanding that I didn't come here to be the same person. I didn't come here to just get by. I didn't come here to be what everyone wanted me to be or expects me to be. I came here to consistently improve. I came here to consistently evolve. I came here to even shock my own damn self. And that is something that, especially in the last couple of days, even up until being 24, it's like, oh wow, we different. We different. This 7th year is different. So the next thing that I have here is go deeper. And then I wrote spirit soft yet persistent voice. So yes, I actually made a post all about just how most recently I've had to really surrender to my ego even more. I really thought, you guys, that I had a good hand on, just leading by grace and poise and not by selfishness or ego. Yeah, of course. Spirit was like, yeah, you've made improvement and we happy, but you got more to do. I think for me too, just this idea of this subtle yet persistent voice, I think one of the blessings for me is just really learning how dedicated my ancestors are, how freaking encouraging and motivating my spiritual team are, how spirit just accepts me at my worst, at my best, at my crustiest, at my most glamorous. And especially I keep going back to in the most recent, because I mean, you guys, like, I can't wait to make future content, because there's a lot that I do reveal here on my channel, but there's just so much more that like I have planned out that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to like have this be a testimony and have other people be like, holy crap, I'm experiencing this, or whatever the case is. I can't wait. But yeah, I think for me one of the biggest blessings was just realizing how it really is that persistence. And for me, every time that I was nudged to go deeper, that I clammed up and that I resisted, Spirit was always there in a very loving and affirmative way of like, okay, you might have gotten away this time, but we're going to try again in the future. And that for me, I think is just like, it really became a metaphor, this idea of persistence and discipline. It was like 2021 and 24 was really about me committing and becoming disciplined in a lot of areas of my life. And I found that more this past birth year than ever, that my ancestors were just absolutely ruthless about certain things just ending and new things beginning. Like, when I say absolutely ruthless, I mean ruthless. And that's when the scales felt a lot of the times like like literally. Okay, so number 3, we have full circle, a coming together of the past, present, and future. So yeah, actually, what I was just saying, I feel segues into this next point, where like endings and beginnings, and we are consistently in life going to see that. We're consistently going to see transformation through birth and transformation through death. It is the yin and the yang. It is the light and the dark. It is, day and night, if you will. And I truthfully have had to really walk away from situations, habits. I mean, I'm sober. I went sober in, December of 2021. I walked away from I was going to say harmful. I think harmful in a way where I knew when I walked away from the situation and the person that, despite maybe a part of me feeling like, damn, I wish this could have worked out differently, I knew that it would have been such a detriment to the woman I was becoming if I stayed around. Yes, I am speaking of, someone who I really did love and who was dear to my heart space, someone who I considered, a potential partner for myself. And, I really had to like choose myself, and it just came after a while of just like getting to a point in my walk where it came too loud to ignore. And that's what I mean, where it's like the past, the present, and the future all coming together to collide in this very moment. Like I said in the beginning, a lot of these are going to feed into each other. So forgive me if things sound a little bit repetitive, but there were so many moments. There were so many moments this past year where, like, especially towards the middle of my 24th year, where I just kept saying, middle end, wow, I feel like I have a glimpse into my future. I remember this past summer I went to Los Angeles, and I've always been wanting to go out there. I have always been wanting to move out there. And I finally got the opportunity to go, and I was so absolutely ecstatic. And I met some interesting people. I met some people that had extremely good hearts and were graceful and had poise. And I met, some people who it was necessary for me to cross their path so that I could learn something. To me, each and every experience that I had out there, each and every person that I came across was like a reflection either of where I had been, what I was currently going through, and or what is in the future for me. And like there just were so many moments. I've even had like friendships kind of come back around full circle, where it's like, it wasn't necessarily a friendship that was over, but it was just a friendship where, like, maybe we weren't like speaking as much, or maybe we weren't hanging out as much, and then all of a sudden you look up and God is bringing us back closer because we're in alignment again. So for me, there just was so many moments. Like, I think I'm so kind of overwhelmed with like what angle and what story I could like feed in, that like I really once again pray that this just makes some sense to someone watching, and that if anything, just enjoy the simple act of me sitting down and giving thanks to my life, giving thanks to my being, and hopefully that encourages you the next time that you have a solar return to journal down. And even if you can't think of each and every detail, just channel, write down the first thing that comes to your mind in terms of what you're grateful for from your previous year. So yeah, that was a spiel. But so the next thing that I wrote down, number 4, is ancestors, and I just put 3 hearts. So I take a breath for this one. So this past year, my ancestral team got even bigger. Really part of everything that I've been saying up until this point. The full circle moments, the transformations, as well as the go deeper, all leads up, I feel, to number 4, which is really honoring my ancestors. Now, I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like I am perfect. I do believe I'm as perfect as I can be, as they have me right now. I don't have a relationship that may look like anyone else's. I don't want a relationship that may look like anyone else's. I know a lot of the time when we're like on the internet and we're sharing, especially, when we're having conversations with people who look like us, who, have questions, and they're like, oh, ancestors, well, how do I get to know mine? I don't know. Sometimes the first thing we say is set up an altar or make an offering. And those are things that I have definitely done in the past, that I have definitely done this year. But I really went back to the basics. And that too, I think, is a full circle moment, is just revisiting like the most simple form of being, the most simple form of doing, the most simple form of living. And like, I have communicated so much with my ancestors this year. Like, I've been in constant overflowing communication with the Most High these past 2 years. But this 24th year, like, it just was an overflow. Literally from September to this point, it's just been so consistent. And it's like, I just feel so protected. Like, I really, really, really do, to the point where like sometimes I'm sharing my ideas with people and they're like, are you effing crazy? And I'm like, well, my ancestors approve, or like, I know I'm protected, and da da da. And no, that doesn't mean that I'm out here being naive and just like, you know, but that just really, I think, still at the same time does mean that, like, you know, I'm very cognizant of the fact that they are living through me. I'm very aware of the fact that nothing, not even like this YouTube channel and being brave enough to sit in front of a camera and confidently tell my story and confidently allow it to be an example for you all watching, started with me. You know, I may not be able to pinpoint what specific ancestor had healing energy where they were, you know, maybe they weren't offering, you know, intuitive messages through like tarot, numerology, and astrology, but maybe they were offering different services when it comes to healing or holistic wellness. Like, I may not be able to pinpoint all the specifics, but I know, and I know because I feel it, y'all. Like, I just freaking feel it. And so, yeah, my ancestral team got even bigger this past year. Let it out. And it got really, really real. It got really real. But, you know, they continue to show me time after time that the veil is so much more thinner than we think. And I know I got a lot of Piscean energy. I got that large Scorpio moon sitting right up in my moon. Like I said, Scorpio sitting right up at my moon in Vedic astrology. So I definitely like understand how thin the veil is, and I'm willing to always go. But no, seriously, like I've learned so much this year of the importance of ancestors and, you know, uplifting them, and yeah, we will get more into ancestors for real. So in number 5, we have walking away, letting go of what/who no longer serves me. That is always the goal. That always ends up being the blessing, even if it's a blessing in disguise at the moment for each and every year. But this past year specifically, I've really had to make like super firm decisions that really, in a way, kind of like killed off, like, and yeah, I'm gonna be as like dramatic and use that word, like killed off the last like remaining essence of my old self. And like what I mean by that is that there were specific situations with others where, you know, I had just was making excuses, to be honest, and was, you know, giving the benefit of the doubt. And, you know, as someone with a lot of Piscean energy, you know, sometimes it can, and also just like for this moment, we'll just kind of push astrology to the side, you know, and just say, as someone who really has the ability to feel into the depth of a person's soul and knows that they're a good person and knows that they, you know, really do want to try, and maybe they are trying even though the efforts aren't, you know, in the way that we need it to be. It's like in the past, I've definitely been so forgiving and understanding and overly willing that I have basically not really thought about my best interest in the end. And like when I say the killing off of the last essence or the final version of my old self, I really mean that. Where like there were just things that ended up happening, situations I ended up being so like energized to walk away from. Like that's the best word, where it's like I never thought that I would feel as effortless and as ease and as I'm ready. But it's like when I was in it, because that's the type of person I am, you know. I have a lot of earth energy as well, so it's like when I'm in it and it's good and I'm comfortable and, you know, it's working, like it's like, well, what are we doing? What do you mean, you know? But it wasn't working, and it wasn't comfortable anymore, and it wasn't fun. You know, like, I believe we came here to enjoy this life, and I believe that we came here to enjoy this life with the beings that we surround ourselves with. So yeah, it's just, I've had to really, really, like I said, make some serious decisions. And commitment towards the end of my 24th year, commitment came up so much for me, so much. And at first I thought it was like in relation to my interpersonal relationships, and like, oh, you know, well, this person is going to commit in this way, or they should commit. But really what I realized is that I have been able to make the ultimate commitment, and that has and always will be to myself and my highest good. So now we are going to move on to number 6. We are almost done. And we have a movement is your friend. Welcome her. Now, you guys, I have a story about movement, physical activity, weight, all the above. Just a little quick story. I'm not going to make this long, but I have always been a very energetic and activated being. And when I am not really allowing all of that energy to have a proper outlet, I get restless. Most recently in my like kind of adult years, anxious and just aggravated, actually, like seriously aggravated. I was legit just speaking to my mother and my grandmother, and I was like, I don't know what happened, but I was sitting down and I was working from home. I was doing whatever, emails, and I was just in that point where like my body had enough. You know, my mind was like, oh no, you need to still stay here and get the work done. But my body was like, you need to move. Like, there's some energy that has built up off of you just sitting here for long. Like, you need to move. And like, I went over and started doing, I think, squats and like working on my butt and stuff. And like, all of a sudden, it was like 15 minutes of that, and I just was joyously smiling again. And like that right there, that potency, that power has been so like so transformative for me. The storytelling part of it is that, you know, I've always been this person, and as a child, sometimes growing up, because I didn't always have an outlet, maybe sometimes I would act out, I would always kind of release my margin energy and all of that just like need for physical activity through like artistry and like, you know, writing or whatever. But it was something specific about this year where like I joined my gym and I committed to seriously going. I had my bike this past year. I rid my bike so much, and like I just tried different things. I tried aerial yoga for the first time, fell in love with it. I continued my yoga practice because that was something that I was doing off and on since I was in college, and I've been out of college now for almost 2 years in December, which I'm just like, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, it is just, it's such a breath of fresh air, you guys. There has literally been times where I've been upset, like I'm telling you, where I have legit have had like maybe some strong choice words with someone who's close to me, and it's weighing on my mind, you know, because I am human. And I hit the gym, and you know those big ass ropes that you see people like using when they're training, like, and I'll just be beating them to the ground because it's just like, oh, I gotta get it out. Movement is my medicine. It is the ultimate way of preventing dis-ease in the body. You heard me. Diet is important. Lifestyle is even more important, okay? And yes, what you put in your body palate wise is important, but movement should be a part of everyone's lifestyle. It's gonna look different, you know, depending on who you are, but I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's fun for me. Like, it is legit fun. And I do think sometimes I'm like, oh, I wonder if I'll always have this much motivation to hit the gym, for example. But like, you know, I do feel like that this is what my body is asking for right now. And I feel like, hey, who knows, maybe in 5 years when I'm like expecting my first child or something, it may not be hitting the gym, but it will be something movement based that I'm committing to. You know, it may be taking a walk, it may be bicycling, it may be like, you know, aerial yoga, it may be dance, but I just feel so freaking connected to movement, and I just feel so freaking confident in what my body has showed me it can do and withstand this far, that I'm like, listen, I don't ever want to go back to just like, you know, not just being a couch potato. And not because, you know, I'm like afraid to gain weight, but literally because I've learned how it is important to move the energy that is stuck throughout your body. And you know, it doesn't mean that you have to necessarily be running on the treadmill a million miles an hour. It can also mean that, you know, you're sitting down and doing yoga and breathing deep and focusing your breath on the point in your body that has a lot of tension and breathing it out. Like, it could be whatever you want it to be. But yes, I also have a lot of fire placements, Aries placements. So there's a lot of Mars, you know, I have very strong Mercury placements. So also that's really good for just like allowing movement and, you know, even just a physical activity or a couple of physical activities, hobbies, to be at the center to kind of relieve some of that restlessness, some of that, you know, kind of just energetic, sporadic fire, you know, anxious Mercury energy. So comment down below if you agree, if you are heavy in the fire placements like myself, or the earth placements, and you know, just you have some type of physical activity that you commit yourself to every day. I would like to know what that is. Okay, and last but not least, I wrote, you are closer than you think. So this is something that if you've been here over this last year, you know, I only created this channel in February of 2021, which is like crazy. You would know that that message is pretty much stamped in a lot of my videos of, you know, just being proud of where you are and how far you've come. And that is really, as I wrap up this video, something that I can put into words. You know, I found it difficult kind of to like figure out, well, you know, which angle do I want to take this in, and do I want to talk about that, or am I ready to talk about that? You know, like, yeah, maybe I could have planned this a bit more, but it did, however, just feel good to just take my time and let naturally whatever was gonna come up. I trust that I have something that will be beautiful for you guys to digest and chew on. I mean, that has really come up a lot. I mean, I'm saying supposed to, right? With the understanding that I'm supposed to be exactly where I'm at, right? But just as an example, I was supposed to move out several times. I was supposed to go on vacation several times. I was supposed to do X, Y, and Z. I mean, the list just goes on and on of like what I thought my life would be looking like today, and what I thought I would have been able to do, and what I hoped and prayed that, you know, would be my current reality. And I've gotten so close. And it's like, well, close to what? Just close to living the life I've always dreamed of. From like meeting certain young men who I feel attracted to in the way that like I see a part of my divine masculine in, to auditioning and trying out for certain acting roles and getting super close, to nearly every single time that I've had something booked or set up and then have had to push it back. Like, I mean, there has just been countless moments where I've just had to like okay, God, you know me better. I trust. And I really, really, really think that 2021 was all about preparing me for what is about to go down this year, you know? And so 2021 might have been, you know, the kind of like watering of the seeds, you know, really, really the watering. Even though my little stubborn self digged up a couple of seeds and was like, hello, are you still there? Are you doing okay? I really, really do trust that I'll be a lot more patient, that I'll be a lot more committed to the growing process, and that I'll actually see some fruit bear. I am claiming that. So, with that being said, I really, really just want to thank you so, so much from the bottom of my heart for just bearing witness to this journey. It is not easy, okay? I will be one of the first ones to tell you, but it seriously is worth it. I honestly would never ever choose to live life in another way, and I really do feel honored to be able to wake up every single day and choose an open heart space and be able to give thanks. Thank you guys seriously, seriously so much. Shout out to all of my Aries brethren and sisters out here. If you are watching, no matter what time of the year it is, no matter what season, happy mother effing birthday to you. Happy Earthstrong. May you too take some time in your new year to give thanks to all that you have and are becoming. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in a future video. Bye.